Hi, I'm Jeff Shomey, and I am participating in Codevember. I'm going to do an hour of live coding in Elm. Now, I've done a few videos before, and they haven't actually been broadcast live. I've just done screencasting and then tried to achieve a particular feature. And this time is going to be a little bit different because I'm just going to code for an hour on the particular part of my narrative engine that I'm working on right now. And you can sort of peek over my shoulder and we'll just see how far we get. So I'm going to share my screen. If you've seen any of my videos before, I've been talking about this project that I've been working on for quite a while called the Elm Narrative Engine. And it is a tool that lets you build interactive stories. This is kind of what it looks like. You can click on different locations or inventory, and there's sort of this whole story that gets built up and responds to what you do. And it's all done through a set of declarative rules, and you as an author define your story world, and then it builds all of what you see here for you. So I just recently released version 2.0, which looks kind of like this and acts like this. And what I want to do is take out the view and everything from inside of the engine and kind of turn it inside out. I want to make the engine embeddable in a larger app, which would allow the author to make their own views. And if they don't want to have known locations, for example, they don't need it there. If they want to maybe have background images instead of the name of the location, they could do that. And it could get even fancier if they want to use something like the browser API for like the date, the time of day, or even the location they're at. That could be piped into the engine to affect the story. There's quite a number of ways that you could go with this if I take the control out of the engine, which is how it's been all along, and sort of expose it, but in a safe way so that the users can do much more with it. So that's what I am going to start working on today. Let's see. This is my code for the engine. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to go with this just yet, so we'll just take a little look. Story is my entry point, and I'm going to open up another window. So this side is sort of the client or consuming side of the engine. This is the example story that I was just showing you. And the way that we get into the engine currently is with this line right here, story.load, which takes some story info, which is title and stuff like that, takes interactables, or perhaps a better name for that would be story world, which is all the items and the locations and the characters, the static part of your story. And then it takes a setup, which gives you a command of how you should start the story and beginning location, etc. You build up the static declaration of your world, and then you build up the story rules, which starting scene, that is a that's the one set of rules. I'm gonna go find that. That's in scenes. So this right here is a set of rules. Each record in this list is a rule that whenever the user does anything, the engine runs through all of these rules for the current scene to find one that matches, and based on it, it'll do whatever the changes are, and it'll add some narration. So now you sort of just build this and put it in the engine, and the engine takes it and runs with it. And if I jump back over to the engine tab, the way that it runs with it, let's see. When we've let it scene just load. Load. This gives, so yeah, my load wraps up HTML beginner program and returns a program never. So that's like the whole app. You're calling code. Jumping back over here, you'll call load, or you'll call in main, you call load, and it gives you back a program. And that's it. There's nothing more to do, and you're sort of susceptible to what the engine defines. So whatever view the engine makes is the view that you get, and that's it. You can't define your own view at all. So yeah, that's where I want to start. Instead of this load that gives a program never, I kind of want, I'm going to make an alternate version of my main right now. What I'm thinking I want is you're going to call main with the same like story load, but instead of story load, it's going to be story.embed. Right now, we'll give it the exact same thing. So we call it in the same signature, but instead of getting a program back, what we get back is going to be the model. I'm not sure what that is yet. The update and the view. I'm not sure what any of those are going to be. Come to think about it, we don't get a view back because we're going to define our own view. And we definitely need a model. This is going to be some kind of opaque type because I don't want to let the client know the shape of my story state. I don't want them reaching in and messing with it directly. All they get to do is use these commands that I've exposed, much in the same way that the Elm runtime takes commands and then it will deal with whatever needs to happen kind of below the scenes. My story engine deals with actually changing state around and doing effects. You just describe through data what kind of changes you want. So this is going to be, I'm thinking a story state, or maybe actually, let me see, how did I change? What have I changed recently? I need to go find a model here. Where do I define my model? I'm on it. So my model has, those lines are all about the info that's sent in. The route is just to choose between sort of a starting page that has the play button on it and then the other page that does all of the actual story. And then story history is the part that we care about. Story history must be defined somewhere else. Here it is. So I'm doing something interesting. Instead of actually having a story state, I'm using a thing called event sourcing, which allows me to get undos. For example, you might notice I have this little icon here. If I click on it, the story literally undos to wherever we were at that point in time. Which means I have the starting state but then I just have a list of interactions, and every time I want to do anything, I rebuild the current state from my starting state and all of the interactions that have happened up until then. Let me see. I was curious if anybody's watching. Whoa. Happened up until then. Well, that's weird. I can hear myself. Let's see. That actually is no good. I can hear everything I'm saying. So I don't know if anyone's watching or not. I don't know how to look and see if there's comments. That's not very nice to see. It doesn't look like anyone else is watching, so I'm just going to keep plowing ahead. So yeah, I think that story history is particularly the part that I'm going to need. And I don't know, maybe I'll get a story state out of it. I'll generate a story state before passing it back, or maybe not. I have no idea. For now, I'll pretend that story state is what I get. And then I definitely need the update function. I'm going to have to call it in the same way that you would call a lower, like if you were using nested components, which you want to try to avoid doing that. You want to just use reusable functions and modules. But if you need to hold separate layers of state, you would sort of pass down, like defer to that lower level's init and update, and maybe their view, and you'd wrap up your messages to hand down to that lower level. This is going to work somewhat similar to that. So let's just say that this update is, I guess it's going to be a function that takes some kind of message. Maybe this message will be my own message, and I'll wrap up the message that my engine cares about. And it's going to take a story state. It's going to return a story state. Something like that. I forgot to put arrows in. I don't know why I forgot to put arrows in. Something like that is what's going to happen. Main isn't really the right word for this anymore, so maybe I'll call this not sure what to call it, something like that. I'm just trying to figure out how I would run this, and then we'll figure out what needs to happen to actually make it work. So let's see, I think I'll do something like this. And then here is where I'll do something like my I have to copy that from So yeah, it'll look something like this. My story engine, I'm going to deconstruct. So this will be something like, actually, model update. And I will have my own model now, which I didn't have before on the client side. So let's make that, let's define it first. Type alias model equals, let's call this I'm going to call it story state for now. That's right, something like that. Now that's it. Perhaps we will have more state of our own later if we wanted to, but for now, I'm not trying to add anything new. I'm just trying to make it work as it does currently, but letting the client have the control instead of the engine. Let's see. So this will be something like, you know what, I don't even need a init, because what I get out of here will be, suppose, my init. So this is where it'll be the model. Call that state. Oh, I can't change that. Let's see. Maybe instead of calling this model here, I will call it state. I'll call it state. And then my view, the view is going to be completely on me now as the client side to deal with it. And so I'm going to need for now, I'm just not going to pass anything at all into it. I think I might need to later, but for now I won't bother. And then the update, I will need my own update function. Maybe. Perhaps for now. What happens if I just do that? Does that work at all? I don't know if that just works. I'm going to namespace this. This will be, actually I'll call it and change it here as well. I think that seems that could work. I might need to make my own update that wraps up the story updates. Then I could have my own respond in my own like different models and logic outside of the story if I were embedding this into like a bigger app. For now, let's see if I can avoid that. I'm not sure if I can. Let's see, what else? I need a message. Probably going to take a variable of some kind. I'm not sure what. I'm going to just call this story update. Yeah. I don't know what it's going to wrap, but I'm sure it's going to wrap something. Sure that it wraps something, so we'll see what. I think my story state is going to need to have some parameters as well in the engine. Everywhere that I have a story state, it takes these type variables, item location, character knowledge, which are they're variables because in the engine we have no idea what they are. But on the client side, we actually do know what they are, so I might be able to feed them in. Similarly to what I'm doing here, my item, my location, my character, it would look something like that. For now, I'll leave it out until the compiler complains to me. I'm going to call this start engine. And I'm going to need a view, right? I don't have a view or anything in here, so I'll put a view down at the bottom. This will just be my view. It's going to be, for now, that's not how you do things. Maybe for now, I will just do to figure out something's going to get passed into the view for sure. I'm not sure what just yet. And then I'm going to need, I wonder if I need to wrap my update. I do not know. I'm not sure. You know what I'm going to do just again to keep things really minimal and simple? I'm going to add story view, which will be I'm just going to steal this directly from the engine. I keep forgetting I can't paste across buffers. I guess I have the world, and I kind of have a model. What's the model that this one expects? Oh, this is the whole top level model. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to just reuse what I already have over there, but maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe let's just keep things simple and not worry about that. We'll keep our little view. Keep our view as is, and we'll figure out what our model looks like. But for now, no, I don't care. Let's see. All right, I'm going to save that. Not like got my comma. Of course, none of this exists yet, so I need to restore engine. Yeah, this stuff doesn't exist yet, so I need to do something about that. But also, I have these two completely different packages, and I need to make some changes in my engine over here and pull it in to my consuming side of it over here. And at the moment, this is probably just pulling in whatever has been published. So somehow I need to, in order to do this locally, I need to set up my packages locally to reference my local version of the engine instead of whatever is probably up, on the hosted on Elm packages so far. So this is a little bit tricky, and this will take me a few minutes to figure out, but I have done this before. Perhaps this will be interesting to somebody. I don't think anyone is on yet, as far as I can tell. Let's see. There were some tools. No red ink, Elm tools, ops. Elm ops tooling, that's what I'm looking for. So Elm ops tooling from No Red Ink, they've got some useful tools. Ones in particular that I think I care about are Elm Depth Sync and Elm Self-Publish. Now, I already have Elm Self-Publish, but I don't have Elm Depth Sync, so I'm going to grab that one. Elm Depth Sync. And let's see, where do I put this? This level, save, cool. Let's see, so as I understand it, basically what we need in my the interactive story, not package.json, Elm package. So Elm package is going to need to point to a version. I think the version is okay, but it's also going to need all the dependencies that I have in my narrative engine, which is kind of the annoying part, but it needs it. So that would be all these. And then we also need to sort of copy over all this stuff in Elm stuff. And that's what these scripts are supposed to help with. So let's give it a shot. I was messing with this earlier, so hopefully I can remember kind of how to make it work. The first thing, I guess, is to remove all the Elm stuff. And the next thing to do, I guess, is to use, I don't know what order to do this in. I guess let's try the Elm self-publish first. So Python, go find that self-publish script. Self-publish, and this takes what I want to sort of move over, so the engine. And then where I want it to go, which is here. Let's see what happens. So I think what that did, if we go look at my package, Elm package, made a change here to lock it specifically to version 2.0, which is the version of my engine. And I think it's recreated Elm stuff and put this in it. So I think this is actually pointing to my local version. And now it's not going to do anything unless I also bring over all those other requirements. So Elm depth sync. So let's try that one. Python / Elm sync. This needs let's try dry first. And it's going to be, what does it need? So I'm guessing that this is the source package, which is package to my oops, yes, please. That looks right to me, so let's go try this without the dry flag. That's the one. Look here now, back in Elm package. Added all the ones that I don't have. I don't think it's touched Elm stuff. So now I think I do Elm package install and we see if it works. So far that looks correct. That looks right to me, which is good. So it's time to go see if anything works. I forget if I'm running this somewhere. Am I running this anywhere? No. Okay, that was just there from before. So I have this Webpack starter thing that will run it for me, do hot reloading and all of that. And it looks like maybe it worked because it's not complaining about not being able to find like my different modules. It looks like this is something that I don't expose, and it seems to know where to find that. So cool. I think that actually worked. I think we're set up to do local development now, which is awesome. We have about half an hour left, and hopefully I won't have to get up and plug my battery in before that ends. So cool. Let's go fix that. So I'm saying that my model is expecting some opaque type. And I definitely do not expose that. Maybe I should. Here's everything that I expose. The ones in blue are the types. So, starting state. That's just for the setup. All right, let's give this a shot. We're going to need, first of all, we're going to need an embed. Second of all, we're going to need state. Let's go down to where we use this. I'm going to have to document it, otherwise the compiler will get upset with me. So embed and state. And then where do I have to find this? Load. So just under here, let's do embed, which, how are we using embed? Same way that we were using load. So I'm just going to copy this. So just write some very quick documentation. Embed the engine so you can supply. You can. Oh, let's see. We need to embed the engine in your own app, allowing great customization. Enough for now. What does embed do? So embed is going to take info, it's going to take interactables, it's going to take a setup, and what it gives us back is this record of initial story state. Which is something, I'm not sure what, and story update, which is something else, I'm not sure what. And this is going to change as well. So this is going to be initial story state, which is something, and this is going to be story update, which is something. So probably this will be a, let's look at our update function and see what it currently takes. Let's see. So currently, story update takes this world, which I'm not gonna, oh yeah, I probably do need that. What does it do with that? I don't know if I'm still gonna need that or not, but I have it so in the client side, so we'll go ahead and use it. It takes that, it takes the message, it takes In this case, it says it wants the whole model. And that's because it's dealing with not only the story updating part of things, but it also has the play button to kick off the game, which is, I think that I'd like to handle that on the client side. That I'll be able to move. But it also has this rollback, which is something that the engine should handle. So, perhaps I'll need to expand the model from just being story state to being the whole engine model. I think that probably makes sense anyways. So yeah, I think I will have to do that. So over here, instead of being story state, I'm just going to call it engine model. And I guess this no longer makes sense. Initial story state is going to be, let's call it engine model. Now I'll call this engine update. Probably a little better. We're treating it almost exactly the same as if it were a composable component. So the name of the component is kind of called engine, and that's what we'll call it here. So I need to expose that, and I need to, let's see, what was my model? This model. Yes, for now, I'm just going to make another alias called engine model equals model. I'll probably do my best to make that more opaque later, so that I can expose it and not have people digging around in this record. Let's see, where was that? To fill in my initial state, which, oh yeah, that's right. This is engine model, and this is engine update. Engine update is good. This will just be engine model now, which, now that I think about it, I'm going to need to do this, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. $298. And then I didn't do anything down here at all. So this was engine model. This will be engine update. I guess this is just the update function, and this is just the init info setup, just like what I've done in the model here. So my syntax problem is 298. For some reason, I'm forgetting all my comments today. I think we called this engine model. Everywhere, engine model, and We will write much better documentation later. That is fine. Don't care about that. Okay, so that has updated that side of things. Have we, let's see if we can use it now. So this would be engine model, which would be the same right there and right there. It's probably going to complain that it needs some variables in it. Let's save it. What's it complaining about here? Cannot find story.engine model. So that either means that it's something wrong, or not actually using our local version. Interesting. I'm tempted to think that we're not getting the local package despite my attempts. Let's go see what we have in here. We go look at Elm stuff, go look at packages, my package, the narrative engine, go look at the source, go look at the story. Yeah, so this, interesting. This is not updating because it's copied it over instead of updated it. So I guess one thing I could do is run that Python script again. Just publish it. Hopefully that does not break everything. Yeah, cool, that worked. So now if I save this, maybe it works better. Yeah, so that's the correct error now, because I didn't give any of the type variables that it expected. So that's interesting. I have to self-publish every time. I think it would be way more awesome if, instead of having to do that, if I could do Elm stuff, packages, show me Elm Narrative Engine 2.0. So what if 2.0, instead of having to copy it over every single time, what if instead I just made a link right here? I feel like that would work. Why don't I try it? Did I link that correctly? Or did I do something nonsensical? I thought that was how you do things. Why did I not like it? Let's try that linking again. There you go. So if I save this, does it still work? Yes. And just to see if something neat happened there, I'm just going to delete it from here. Come back over here, and if things are linked correctly, yes. It does not expose it. Cool. So now I'm finally developing two separate packages simultaneously. I like that. I am going to tell Noah, who made those scripts, that maybe there should be a linking option, because I think that works rather well. Still nobody here as far as I can tell. So, oh well, maybe someone will watch this later. Great. So now I can actually do what it wants me to do. So engine.model is telling me that it wants whatever I said it wanted, which I think is going to be my item, my location, my character, and my knowledge. Yes, that's good. I'm not importing HTML anymore. Import HTML. Let's see. I need to do this up here as well. So this definitely gets a little bit tedious having to put all of those in, but oh well. Show me the error. Error. Cool. What's going on here? Can I find variable text? Oh. Capitalized element, exposing everything. It's working. Where is it? It's not working. It's totally lying. Isn't that what it's called? Oh, that's right. I don't know what I was thinking. Exposing everything. There we go. I have to spell that right. Hey, whoa, I don't know what happened there. Cool. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my capitalization today. Start engine. What do you mean I don't have a start engine? Wait. So we need to, yeah, give it the things it expects. Yes, it's function. Embed. Expose takes three things. So oh, that's why. Oh, sorry. Don't need those. I do need to say these three things. World and starting state. Battery doing? Only 5 more minutes. I think we're going to make it. We don't have a starting state. Do we? No, we do. Story dot. Because it's within everything from story. So what's the problem here? Oh, two few arguments. Where is that? Those are not things anymore. This needs to be I just have to get my types right. Story world is too many. What does story world need? Item location character. I don't need to have my knowledge for that. And I don't even think I need it for, I think it's trying to item location character knowledge. So right at starting state takes an item location, a character, and a knowledge. I don't know why it's saying expecting 4, but got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. Got my arrow. Let's see. Okay. Info. Sorry, not info. I don't even remember what that is. A little easier to see this big error here. In the last couple minutes, looks like those first two are okay, but the second one, what it returns is an engine update of the engine get. I'm assuming I'm not giving the engine everything that it needs. So the first thing that the engine needs is, if you remember an update over here, the first thing that it wants is the world, which is the same thing that we've passed in to embed our engine. We passed in info. So the update needs the, oh wait, not there. When do we call this? Just give it the info to sort of preload that in. But it doesn't like that. I think this is partly half-baked, so I need to, I think I just didn't finish filling out some pieces of it. Low battery, I've got only 3 more minutes, I'll make it. So yeah, where does that leave me? I'm probably just using it wrong. What does my update wants this, which is an info. No, it's not. It's a world, not an info. That makes sense. Interactables is my world. Still not happy with it. Says it's expecting just a message. Did I forget to wire it up correctly somewhere? So let's see. I'm gonna make my own update function here. Put it down here somewhere. Update going to equal, okay, this message of model engine message. The only message that we have currently is going to be engine update, which needs the interactables passed in so it can do the right thing. Wow. And it needs the engine message, and it needs the model dot engine model. Wow, my thing is taking forever. That one. I think that's right. Now, did I ever stick? Oh, so I've just assigned this. What I'm going to do is just for clarity, I'll do that. There we go. That's a little better. Can I find pattern engine model? Really? Where's my message? Oh, engine update. That's just about it. And then you are, where did my engine update go? Oh yes, I have to pass it in here. Now, the update starts off with update. That's what I need. Let's see how that looks. Mismatch. Because I still need to work that story world in there. Maybe if I put it here, interactables, And then down here, that shouldn't matter at all, but maybe that's a little better since it's sort of static. It's still upset about however I have that going. Well, I'll dig through that and figure out what the problem is. The time is up. It is after 11 now, and my computer's going to die any second. So I think it's time to stop for now. But that's a pretty good start in getting it embeddable. I just have to figure out what I'm not passing correctly, and then begin to build my own view. And I'll need to make all kinds of accessors since it's going to be an opaque type. But that I will work on another day. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, I appreciate it. And you can go to the package I have in, let's see, somewhere I have my blog where you can follow along. Where is it? Here. You can go to blog.elmnarrativeengine.com to see my work in progress. And this should be really exciting when I get this feature out. Thanks again, and I'll catch you later.